gone back to my roots and I'm holding a beverage upon commencing my video. It is very, very, very cold here for my Australian self, but I do maintain that it is actually cold in this Australian winter that we're having at the moment. It's 6 degrees outside. That's cold, right? It's freezing. Well, technically not freezing, but it's really, really cold. And there's frost on the grass outside. It is currently also the winter solstice today. I'm filming on the winter solstice, so shortest day of the year, very, very cold day. The birds are still singing outside, so I'm happy for them, but I need a beverage in my hands to be warming them up. Yeah, to keep my extremities nice and warm. Today I have, I think I've used this mug before. It is my sister's, but she is currently not here, so I'm using it. It's got these little cats on it. It is caramel latte. That's a very strange way of saying it, I apologise. But I have a beverage in my hand. I have a pile of knitting and yarn right next to me. I've got my little book and I've got a lot of things to talk about. So welcome back, I guess, to my knitting podcast. I have been considering lately how podcast is a bit of a misnomer, and I should be saying video podcast probably, or come up with a better way to refer to me talking about my knitting for an hour. I don't know, it's a work in progress. I will think about it and get back. Who am I getting back to? Back to myself. If I come up with a better word for it, I will change the name of this, but so far I'm just going to stick with knitting podcast because that's what everybody else does. We've all just decided that this is collectively the best term, so I think I should just go with that. We shall see. But welcome back if you're returning, or welcome if this is the first time you're seeing me. I hope I've not been too I hope you've been able to follow me so far. I don't think I've said anything about knitting, so I should probably do a bit of an introduction to what's going to be happening today. I am going to talk about what I'm wearing, the recent things that I've finished making, of which there are quite a few, majority of them gift knits, and then I'm going to talk about my works in progress, my acquisitions, of which I also have a few, even though I said I wasn't going to. We'll get into that, and also at the end I'll do a brief little chat about some of the media that I've been into recently and just other things that I'm enjoying, because I really like that when people include a little bit of extra at the end just about like things they're enjoying, and I'm enjoying a few things also, so figured I would include that. Also, I'll talk about what I'm wearing, which this is a very special edition of what am I wearing today, because I did not knit this, but it is hand knit, and it is the perfect thing to be wearing on such a cold, 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 dark winter's day. It's not a dark winter's day, it's actually, there's not a cloud in the sky. I think that's why it's extra cold, because the heat doesn't like bounce back off the clouds. I'm not an expert in this field at all, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I think that when it's a cloudless day, it's colder. I will fact check myself on this. What was I saying? Oh yes, I am wearing a jumper that was knit by my maternal grandmother for my father. Not maternal grandmother, paternal grandmother. My apologies. So she knit this for my father when he was in his 20s. So a very long time ago now, over 30 years. And it's massive. It's too big for him even, because we're a similar height. So this thing is massive. I'll try to like awkwardly kneel up on my bed so you can see, because it's very creaky, so I apologize. So this is what we're working with. It is gigantic, which is perfect because it is the most cozy thing I own. It is let me just sit back down awkwardly. Yep, my filming setup has been exposed. It is 100% wool, 100% knit flat. There's seams, cable jumper, like seams, because this was, yeah, she doesn't knit anymore and she's largely forgotten how to knit, and she doesn't even remember what pattern or anything. It was probably just from some like catalogue that she had and she just decided to knit. She knit one for my 2 uncles as well. Crazy, right? This whole thing knit flat and seamed because that's just how knitting was when she was learning to knit. She'd knit for the majority of her life, but since she's become arthritic she's not knit, and then she's largely forgotten how to. But yeah, this jumper is such an inspiration to me because it's an entirely heavily cabled jumper, knit flat, and is massive, and so I would really like to knit myself an entirely cabled sweater. I live in this thing. It definitely needs to be depilled, it needs to be washed. Scarily, I have not washed this since it's been given to me, and I don't think my dad would have washed it, but he actually never wore it because he's got a high sensitivity to wool, so that's why he gave it to me, because I love wool. It was sitting there unused. Someone can appreciate it now. But yeah, I have not depilled this, I've not washed this, I've had it for years. It definitely needs a bath, but I'm just wearing it probably every second day at the moment, which really, yeah, reinforces that it needs a wash. But I've also spilled things on it, so it is a bit stained. Yeah, she needs some TLC, a lot of it actually, but I'm just really loving it. It's so cozy, and yeah, this is like my around the house jumper. I don't think I've ever worn it out because it's just comically large on me, and I'm worried about a white cabled sweater being damaged more outside of the house than it is already inside of the house. But yeah, my sister has one from my uncle gave to her, which is green, which is just amazing. So we love wearing them together and appreciating all of this amazing hard work that my grandmother put in. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing. I decided to give it a feature on my channel. It's not something that I've knit, but it's a knitted thing that I get a lot of wear out of, and it's probably it's not the only, so it's one of the only sweaters that I have that I've not knit myself. The only hand knit one that I've not knit myself. So that's what I'm wearing. I'll just have a little copy break. So now let's get into my little book and see what I've finished, because I think I've got everything next to me. I just write down all my things, like the date that I finish them, and then I'll know what to talk about rather. Okay, so I think that I will not go chronologically, but because I've got a lot to talk about. I have 3 gift knits, 2 things that are finished from all of the whips that I had, and 1 thing that I just cast on and cast off in 2 days. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 finished objects. I could have just added that up. Anyways, 6 finished objects, which is crazy. Yeah, but one of them I do not have with me because it's already been gifted, or 2 of them I don't have with me because they've already been gifted. One of them was gifted to my mother, so I have brought that here. Yeah, let's get into it. So the first finished object is not this, but it is this. It is the Eva cardigan that I knit for myself maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, and my grandma saw it and loved it so much and requested the exact same cardigan in the exact same yarn and the exact same size, but about 15 centimeters longer. So what did I do? I ordered the exact same yarn, knit the exact same cardigan, 15 centimeters longer, in the exact same size, and gifted it to her for her birthday. And I was so close to making the actual birthday, but I wasn't able to give it to her on the day because I hadn't finished it. So then, and we went out for dinner anyway, and like it wasn't a gift giving at dinner kind of thing. So then I saw her just a week later after I'd finished the cardigan, blocked it, and yeah, she is super happy with it. So it is the Eva cardigan by petiteknit, which is a v-neck stockinette cardigan with this 2x2 ribbing, and the cast offs on all of the edges, that is a piece of my hair, are just like regular cast off, which I really enjoyed that touch because I don't think that's actually visible, but it's just like cast off in pattern, not even in pattern. I don't even think I did it in pattern, I just cast off everything knitwise, which I really enjoyed the look of. So I did the exact same thing for her cardigan. And yeah, the only difference was that I made it 15 centimeters longer. I just made it, she asked for it to be the length of the ribbing longer plus half. So it ended up using 1.5 balls of yarn more than what I did. In this cardigan, I think I used just over 9 balls of the marzipan tutti frutti pia gynt by Sandnes garn, and so hers used 11, I'm pretty sure, and I was down to the wire with that. I was playing yarn chicken because yeah, adding that extra 10 centimeters or a little bit more than 10 centimeters and then that extra on the ribbing, it ate up that extra ball of yarn, because I had ordered quite a bit of it for my one, and then I ordered more to be able to knit my grandmother's, and then I was really confident that I had the exact amount of yarn before even starting the cardigan, so I gave the extra balls that I didn't think I'd need to my friend Emma. And then I was knitting and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to ask for one of them back because I don't have enough, I don't think, and it costs like $50 shipping to get them sent to Australia from Norway, from this Yarntopia, is that the name of it? This website that I bought it off, because you can't get pia gynt here in Australia. Besides, I think there's this new store that's opening up. That's not in, that's not been started yet. What's it called? Yarnocopia? Anyway, so I can't get pia gynt here in Australia easily, but luckily I was able to finish it. I think I took a photo of how much I had left, but yeah, I was able to finish it with the exact amount of yarn. I did not need to ask for any of the yarn back, but Emma had it sitting there and ready for me should that need arise. The only differences besides the length was that I joined in the round to knit my grandmother's one in the round, and then I steeked it afterwards. So that was only adding on, I think I cast on 4 extra stitches in the middle, and so then just knit that for the entirety all the way down into the ribbing. Before, or like as I started it, I was like, yeah, this is amazing. Every single cardigan that I'm going to knit from now on, I'm just going to join in the round and steek it at the end. But after steeking it, this is my second time steeking a cardigan. First time, loved it, definitely was 100% the way to go. But for this one, I just don't think it was necessary at all. I just remember how painful it was knitting this and doing all of the purling. But I think that was largely due to me being a bit unenthused by the beige yarn and just having a terribly sized cable. I think it was like 60 centimeters or something for over 200 stitches. It was just a really uncomfortable knitting experience. So preemptively joining this one in the round to steek, I thought it would solve all the problems, and it did go by a lot quicker. However, when I steeked it, I just wasn't happy with that little bit of bulk that it produces when you steek and then it like flips around, because it just doesn't really work, I don't think. Just having that bit of bulk, this is not the steeked one, but you have like such a large ribbing band and then you've just got that little bulk like right there, so it just comes up a little bit. I know that personally I would not be able to deal with that texturally on the inside of my button band, and the fact that it also just stops like where it starts to be the v-neck, I would not enjoy that at all. My grandma is far less sensitive to those textural variances, so she doesn't mind. But yeah, I think that I'll reserve steeking for specific situations wherein it is definitely the way to go. I don't need to steek absolutely everything, because that's why patterns are written without steeking. But anyway, I also have not yet chosen the correct buttons for her. I did give it to her without buttons. I know. But you can still wear a cardigan without buttons. I do that with my step-by-step cardigan. So I probably should not have given it to her without buttons, but I did. She is also capable of sewing. She's sewn quite a few things for me, so I said that either we can go looking for buttons together, and then we can sew them on together, or like she can find them and do that, or we can do it together, whatever. She's said that she might just find buttons and put them on herself, or she'll come and we can look through some buttons together, but there's just not many places to buy buttons where I live currently, so we shall see. I think I'm going to just find the perfect ones at an op shop and bring them to her and we'll sew them on together. But yeah, that's the first finished object. That was a really big one. It was a slog to get through. Knitting the exact same cardigan for the second time in the exact same yarn, I do not recommend. But it's done. We've got matching cardigans now. She was over the moon, and I got rid of 11 balls of this pure gynt from my stash, so yay, happy about that. That was my first gift knit. I keep holding up my cardigan as if it's the one, but no, it's just, this is the visual representation. I'll try to put in some photos. However, I did not take a photo of the cardigan besides one of my cat sleeping on it while I was blocking it. If you have cats, please tell me that you relate to this struggle, because that was, I'd put it down for 1 minute and I looked over and he was doing that. It was a wet piece of wool on the ground. I don't know why that is attractive for a cat to sleep on, but we don't know. I'll ask her to send me some photos though, which I think will be very cute if she's able to take some photos. She's not very technologically adept, so we shall see. So now I'm going to talk about 2 other gift knits, which were also due this week. So my grandmother, whom that cardigan was for, is my maternal grandmother, maternal grandmother, and it was my mother's birthday this week, and my mother has a twin sister, so it was all 3 of their birthdays in the same week, and I decided to knit gift knits for all of them. Why? Because I love them very much. I also was very confident in my knitting abilities, and I did get them all done. Besides, I've not blocked one of the things I knit for my mother. So they are twins, and I decided that I would knit them twin gift knits, but not exactly the same. They are identical twins, however their knits, I didn't want them to be identical. So I knit them both pairs of gloves, which I was super happy about, and they are self-drafted. So I do not have the ones from my aunt, but I have the ones from my mother. Here are some gloves. Yeah, they're pretty cute, right? Pretty cute, basic gloves, but what's that? They are lined. They're fully reversible gloves. I'm so happy with these. My mother is obsessed with them. My aunt is obsessed with them. I just need to like do a lot better on the weaving in, because what is that? But I've not blocked this one yet. I did block this one because I knit this first as a test run, and yeah, it is fully reversible glove. Let me try these on to give a better demonstration. So the idea came to me because I had this outside yarn in stash. It was a yarn that my mother had bought for me to knit some socks for her about 2 years ago. Clearly they have not become socks, but it is a yarn. I think it's araucania kettle dyes, huasco, something like that. All of the information is going to be on screen or in the description, and it's all on my Ravelry. So I had that yarn, but it was just like, it's just a bit thin. So I was like, if I'm going to be knitting gloves, I want them to be warm. And I had these other yarns in stash that I thought were the perfect match. They were like sitting on my shelf at very near to each other, and I was like, hang on a second. So I had, let me flip them around now. Oh, I didn't really show them on, but it's fine, I'll put in pictures. So I had the Lang jawoll in this colour. I'm pretty sure the colour is called Hectic Green. And I had filcolana arwetta in this colour, which I'm pretty sure is strawberry or raspberry or some kind of berry. And now when you flip it, it is a little bit annoying because you do need to like just do a bit of a recalibration, but it's so worth it. Because now, oh my god, it's a whole other pair of gloves. I'm just really gushing over this because I was really happy with myself from being able to kind of get this to work how it was in my head, to get it to come out. So yeah, it's 3x2 rib for the cuffs. It's just basic, like I've got some increase or decreases. I knit them from tip down and then seamed them together. Like I knit 4 pairs of gloves, not 4 pairs, I knit 4 gloves and kitchened them together. So technically she can have 4 different sets of gloves because she can do it like this. She can do it both of the white side. She can do one white and one pink and one white and one green. And my mother is very eclectic, so she absolutely loves them. She has given them back to me to be able to block this one because I've not blocked it yet, because I knit this one first as a test to see if my idea worked, and it did. And then I knit a pair of gloves for my aunt, and then I was like, oh whoops, I have 1 glove because I'd knit 2 gloves but I need 4 gloves. You know, don't know if I'm making much sense, but it makes sense in my head. So yeah, as I said, I just kind of made these on my own accord, but I do want to write out all of my notes a bit more comprehensively to yeah, try to translate what was in my head into a comprehensible piece of writing, because I'd like to let my friend Emma knit a pair like this because she really liked the idea as well, and I'd be happy to write it up if anyone would be interested in knowing how I did this. It's really not that hard at all. I just kind of, it just came out very easily from my mind, and then doing it 4 times. Yeah, I feel like I've got it down pat, so I can write it up if anyone's interested. Please let me know. But yeah, number 1. Number 2 of finished objects, number 1 of pairs of gloves, of which there are 3. So yeah, that was pretty fun. And yeah, the 3 different yarns in this, and they're super warm and toasty. Gloves, yay. The second pair of gloves I do not have with me. I gifted to my aunt, but they're on screen. It's another pair that I just drafted on my own accord. Yeah, so both of them on 2.5mm needles, and this one was 1 strand of the schoppel-wolle zauberball in, it's like pink and purple. I think it's called pink and purple. And I don't have the German name in front of me now, so I can't try to pronounce it, but I will for the next time. Held together with 1 strand of the Concept by Katia 50 Shades of Mohair in colour like light pink, I think, although it looks beige. It is light pink. I can see it on my shelf and it looks entirely beige, but the colour name is light pink, if not something else, but it's meant to be pink. And yeah, I just freestyled it. I did, these ones do have a correct hand to be worn on because I did the increases. I knit these ones cuff up to be like for the thumb gusset. And I did a little ruffle cuff on them. So I knit one of them from, I did a different cuff to start off with that I wasn't happy with, and I ripped out just the cuff part once I'd knit from the cuff up, and then knit down for the ruffle, and then that ruffle turned out way too big. I did like 3 rounds of increasing every stitch, so it turned into over 100 stitches on a glove, almost 200, and it was just way too much. So then, upon advice from a few people who know the recipient, they were like, no, she's not gonna, that's way too much ruffle. So then I ripped that out and redid the ruffle, and then so once I'd figured that one out, then I knit the second one from the glove, from the edge of the ruffle up to the top of the tippy top of the fingers, and it worked out so well. She's so happy with them, and yeah, I'm really happy with them. I really like the fit that the thumb gusset gives, so I would highly recommend doing that. I also like angled the thumb because it's, I don't know if it's just my hands being strange, but when, you know, when your hand just is chilling in a normal position, the pad of your thumb kind of faces the fingers, right? It doesn't sit like that. At least mine don't. So when your thumb's sitting there, where's the glove? When you have the increases and the decreases for the thumb, if they're sitting like that, then it's sitting awkwardly on your thumb, then it doesn't work. Maybe I just have a very high sensitivity to where the seams are. I can't stand the feeling of seams not being in the right spot. This is an ongoing issue I have. So I tried to mitigate that, even though these gloves aren't for me, but I knew that I'd knit a pair of these gloves eventually for myself, so I wanted to get this sorted in the designing process. Anyway, so I wanted the decreases to be around that side of the thumb, to be coming like that, so that it's not coming, like the decreases being there, I don't like that at all. So then I made sure that it was facing this way, so the thumb's facing, like the knit thumb is like facing that way, so it sits comfortably. Does that make sense? I hope so. So that's what I've done in my gloves, and I'm really happy with how that turned out because that really solves my seam issue. But I did that on both of the pairs of gloves, and yeah, they had a super cute twinning moment in their fresh new gloves, and I'm really, really happy with them. And so I had an amazing, gratifying week giving 3 gift knits to 3 of my favorite people in the world, and they all were super, super happy with the results. And it really gave me a renewed passion for gift knitting. But I'm so done with it for the moment. Actually, that's not even true. I'm about to cast on some other things. But anyways, I did 3 gift knits in 1 week, so I think I deserve a little bit of a break. So while we are talking about gloves, I guess I should talk about my other finished object, the 3rd pair of gloves that I've finished since my last podcast. I don't know if I talked about these in the last one. If I'm doubling up here, I'm so sorry, I will cut it out. But oh my god, it's another pair of self-drafted gloves that are a bit strange. So, what are these? These are my, again, misnomer, ear flaps gloves. Why are they called the ear flaps gloves, you may ask? Well, I knit the, what's it called? City Hiker beanie by, oh that's the wrong, that's the wrong hand, that's why that's feeling weird. City Hiker beanie by Milena Juhola of Milena Polena Knits, or something like that. And I was in love with it. I do have it next to me, so I will grab that once I put on these gloves. I'm realizing that I cast off a bit too tight, but it's fine. Okay, so hang on, let me just collect myself. So I knit this beanie, and it looks super silly because I've not blocked it, but it's so freaking adorable, is it not? With the like different color ear flaps. So I had 3 balls of the Zealana Kauri worsted in colours Katia and I forgot the red name, it'll be on screen. I had 3 balls of this worsted weight yarn, and I was like, I would like to knit this beanie in that. So I did, and it's a beautiful yarn. It's possum and merino and silk or something ridiculous like that. It's super luxurious. And I had a lot left over after knitting this, and I was like, I would like some matching gloves to wear with this beanie. So I've self-drafted these. Did not weave in my ends very well, obviously, because that's coming out. But it's not just got different coloured fingers. It has. I always feel so silly doing this, but it has covers. It has thumb covers. Why? I feel these thumb covers look so stupid just hanging around like that, but they're so practical. I have worn these to I go to the AFL games in Melbourne. That's our Australia's football, but it's not like soccer, which is actually football. It's Australian rules football. Anyways, and it's freezing there, sitting in the stadium where it's like 5 degrees, and this is so good. They're so warm and they're so fuzzy, and they have fluffed up a bit and like started to felt a little bit in a really nice way, because I do not want any air getting in here. But bring out your phone and you need to text. Done, you've texted. Boom, boom. Now your thumbs are covered. You are set, you're warm, but you still know that you can just take your thumbs out and text should you so desire. Or you can just, boom, I need to wave at someone. No, you can wave with, just ignore that. But if you should you need more fingers, you can do that. You can just have them all out should you so desire. There's 10 fingers right there. Wow. So I knit these as well, just on a whim from knitting this. I have not worn all 3 of them together yet, but I will be soon, which I'm so excited about. But anyway, yeah, some random gloves. Again, just self-drafted, which I'm going to write up a little thing for, because my uncle saw these at the footy and he said that he wanted a pair. So I'm really turned into a gift knitting machine. I've not yet cast those on, but I have acquired the yarn for it. So yeah, these are the gloves that I called them ear flaps gloves, because that made sense when I was knitting it, because ear flaps, and it doesn't make sense at all. I do need to come up with a much better name for them. But yeah, they're super fun. I want to write down what I did for them in a much more logical way than how it came out of my brain onto the paper. And I would like to do it for different weights as well, because I'm super happy with like how that looks. Yeah, and they're just basic, like I just knit until I run out of yarn basically. But yeah, I love them so much, and I'm going to make myself another pair in a different weight as well. Yeah, so that's three pairs of gloves. So I am gloved out. Well, I'm gloved out talking about gloves. So next thing is this thing that I just cast on super randomly and finished them in 2 days. What are they? I don't know, they don't look like much, do they? These are some leg warmers, and when I tell you that I have been wearing these every single day, they're life-changing, game-changing. I am strangling them right now. They just look so strange when they're off the foot. They look like, what is that? They look so weird. These are just some leg warmers that I cast on with some drops Nepal I had in stash from my sweater number 18, and yeah, I just cast on with a 2x2 tubular cast on. I did a different cast on for each one. One of them I watched a YouTube video to how to do that. The second time I thought I knew what I was doing, but I did it wrong, but it turned out I think better. Yeah, so it's basically just where you do like German twisted cast on, and then the first round you do like knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, and then the second round you like rearrange it. No, you slip it again and then you rearrange it. I didn't do that. I just did the German twisted cast on, knit and purled the whole way, then rearranged it on the next round. And that turned out really well, I think. But don't hold me to that, because maybe it just isn't very visible. I don't know. Anyways, 2x2 cast on, then each of these are just an entire ball of drops Nepal, so like 56 meters? No, it's more than that. 75 meters? I believe it's 75 or like 76 meters. Sorry, I've got a piece of mohair in my eye. It's not a piece of mohair, it's just a thread of the various yarns that circulate in my room. Yeah, and then I just did 2x2 rib and then cast off in 2x2 Italian bind off. I love the process for the 2x2 cast off. It's so satisfying, to be honest. I don't know if it's better than 1x1, but I just really enjoy the process of Italian bind off, and so doing 2x2 bind off, chef's kiss. And I feel like I did it very loose as well, because I wanted these to be super stretchy, to fit over my calves, which they do. But yeah, turned out amazing. I am going to be knitting them for my mum and my sister as well. Everyone's getting gift knits this year. I feel like I'm just being very generous, and I'm happy with that because I want to make a dent in my yarn stash. I did buy yarn to make my sister some, so that kind of defeats the purpose. But I'm so wanting to gift knit for everybody because I love sharing my knitting and everyone gets a lot of joy out of it. So it's a win-win-win because I get to reduce my yarn stash as well. And yeah, love them. Love the purple. Purple's like my favorite color. And yeah, there's really nothing to these. I would highly recommend that you knit a pair of leg warmers if you yourself are also in the Australian winter right now, because so cozy. I just put these on when I'm wearing like my slippers around the house. My ankles are warm. I'm living the life. And they're super slouchy as well. I didn't want them to be just rigid sitting up like this all the time because that looks so strange. So they just kind of like, they stretch out a lot, and then just like that around my ankle, but I can pull them up and they do stay like that until I move around a lot and then they fold back down. Not blocked these, don't think I will. They're just going to pill and become felted a little bit. I'm not going to care. I'll also wear these to yoga and Pilates and things like that. Workhorses for your ankles. My next finished object, I think I said was a finished object last episode as well, and it is still not an entirely finished object, but it's so close. It's my cardigan that's still not finished. I am currently in the process of being a knitter is so difficult because there's yarn and fibers everywhere all the time in my mouth and in my eyes, and it is a struggle I have chosen though, so I should probably not complain about it. Anyways, so I knit this cardigan, which I talked about and I have filmed a whole video about, but I've still not posted it because I've not completely finished the cardigan. But it's this beautiful cardigan that I self-drafted and I steeked, and this was the successful steeking project that I mentioned earlier. Okay, I keep pausing or stopping the video because I keep sneezing, so if my nose is really red, I am mildly sick, and if you can hear it in my voice, I apologize. But yeah, this is knit in noro ito color shibuya, and it's so pretty. I absolutely love these colors. I've worn this quite a bit without the zipper because I just wear my cardigans without zippers or buttons. I don't care. But I ordered a zipper online and it arrived after 3.5 weeks, and now I've put it on. Oh, let me zip it up actually. What am I doing? It is a double-ended zipper because I wanted the ability to have it open at different lengths. So the only problem, or there's no problem. Okay, it's so strange to do up a zipper when you're not wearing it. What am I doing? Please bear with me. Okay. So clearly just need to trim here. Then also I'm going to work with my mother, who is much better at sewing than I, to line that because that's a bit ugly. I don't like the look of that at all. We're going to just like put on a little strip around here to kind of cover it and just make it look a little bit more polished. But yeah, this is what it looks like when it's zipped up. Please ignore. Okay, let's just do that. Hopefully that works. That's what it looks like when it's zipped up. I just think it's the cutest thing ever. And I wanted, these little pull rings are amazing. I really love the look of that. Because yeah, I wanted to just be able to have it open halfway if I wanted, or like that, to just really do whatever I wanted with the two-ended zipper. And it's great. I love these little rings. I think they're super cute. And I think the purple colour of the zip is perfect. I'm just going to cover that with some bias binding or something and sew down the lining. But yeah, she's so close to being a finished object. And I'm so happy with the cardigan. I'm so happy with myself. This was exactly the vision that I had in mind. It came together perfectly and I've learned a lot. So this will be finished so soon. And then I'll have another amazing piece to wear. that's my finished objects. That was a lot, was it not? I think so. So now I have the 4 works in progress that are currently on my little rotation. I am working through the backlog of all of my whips, and these are the 4 works in progress that are currently underway. 3 of them were already in my thing. 1 of them is a new cast on, because I thought I've just finished 6 finished objects, 3 of which were new, I know, but I did finish them after starting them, so I wanted to start something new. And I did. But first, let's talk about what's still in my stash, still in my whip pile, which is this one, which is my Olga jacket. Now that I've finished my 2 other large cardigans, I've picked this one back up. I've only got like 3 or 4 more stripes of each colour left on the second sleeve. And then I'll be onto the body, and then it'll go by super quick because I am so desperate to have this in my wardrobe. It's going to be so good for the weather that we're having at the moment. Okay, my cat has just requested to be let into the room, and he's very dangerously on the ground next to the stand. We shall see what happens. Where was I? Olga jacket by petiteknit. This is a striped O-neck cardigan, drop shoulder, with this amazing shoulder detail. I am knitting mine in the Isaga Aran tweed in colours sand, brown and green. Very easy colour names to remember. And I am super happy with it. I feel like I've been overwhelmingly positive about everything that I've knit. Okay, the camera stand may fall. Yep. Oi! Stop that. Come here, come here. Yes, thank you. I'm watching you. Anyways, I'm doing jogless stripes that are by and large jogless. I think it's just where I'm weaving it in that it is a little bit like, because I'm cutting each of the contrast colours after each stripe, because otherwise you're like pulling it up 12 rounds, which is just a bit much. Come up here, you can come and sit with me rather than chewing on my camera stand. But I'm not cutting the sand going around because it's only going up 4 stripes each time. Yeah, I just did a little difference here. I doubled the amount of ribbing because I wanted to have both stripes on the ribbing, and I really like how it looked. I just did like 1 round of stockinette at each colour change rather than going straight into the 1x1 rib, because otherwise it leaves that little thing, you know, when you do ribbing and you change colours, and I didn't want that. So hopefully that's focused. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. And yeah, I've just got a few more rounds on the sleeve to go. Actually, let's see how much I've got left to go. Yeah, not that much on the sleeve to go at all. And I'm super keen to wear this. So that one's back on my needles. Also back on my needles is my Alex hood by Pernille Larsen, the woman behind Knitting for Olive, one of the women behind Knitting for Olive. This is going to be my Alex hood. You'll notice that the yarn is cut off, and you'll be very, very perceptive in noticing that. I've got the yarn here. I ripped this out because if you've watched my video where I go over all of my languishing whips, then you'll know this story already. If not, I will refresh you. I will introduce you to the story. I spilled melted ice cream all over this and one of my other projects. Yeah, that was super fun. I was carrying my knitting projects, balancing them on my laptop with a tub of ice cream that I had left out, and I was bringing that in the direction, like the direction that I needed to go to bring my knitting projects was in the direction of the bin, so I thought like I'll just balance them all together. Yeah, don't do that, because I tripped and spilled a tub of melted ice cream all over 2 knitting projects and my laptop and my journal. It was a very dark day for my journals and laptop and knitting projects. Hi baby, what is it? Hello. Hello. Cat break, sorry. Okay, so a cat has come into the mix. He's my baby. Now it'll just be his hair competing with the mohair and alpaca strands to be lodged in my eyelashes and nose. But we love him, so it's okay. This is Charlie. I don't think you can actually see him on camera, but he's sitting in my lap right now, which does make it a little bit hard to move. But anyways, okay. I was talking about my Alex hood. Yeah, and spilling ice cream all over it, which was amazing. But I have now picked it back up. I have eliminated the parts that were affected by the ice cream. Now I can knit it again. And I've learned a very valuable lesson to not mix dairy and my knitting. And I would advise you all to follow this same way of living, because it does not end well for anybody involved. Also, I have picked back up my ruffle socks by petiteknit. I have the majority of one. I did not edit these, modify these to have a heel flap and gusset, because that's just my preferred construction for socks. Hey, baby, what are you doing? Okay, he's just getting comfortable. Anyways, hello. And I'm so close. I've got maybe 4 centimeters to go before starting on the toe. But I am just blocking out some time when I'm working on these, because I know that when I finish one, I need to immediately cast on the second one. Otherwise, it's going to be one of the half-finished pairs of socks in my stash that die there, basically. And I do not want that to happen, because I'm really keen to wear these. I'm knitting them on 2mm needles, magic loop style. And I have come to learn that I am just going to knit all of my socks on magic loop from here on out. I used to be die-hard 9-inch circulars all the way, but I just find it to be uncomfortable now. I just don't enjoy the dynamics in my hand. I don't enjoy having to switch to a different needle at 2 different points in the sock. Like for the heel flap, I was so much of a die-hard 9-inch circulars girl that I would knit the heel flap and gusset just on the same 9-inch circular. Like I would just go back and forth, knit the heel flap, then pick up the stitches for the gusset. It was like such an uncomfortable time. I don't know why I did that to myself. It was just not worth it. It's so much quicker to just pick up a different needle and have all the other stitches resting on the 9-inch circular still. But I did not do that. But anyways, now I love my magic loops for socks and gloves. Never thought I would say that, but I'm a big fan of magic loop now. I'm a big fan of magic loop, and I will now die on this hill. Okay, he's getting up now, and he's going to want to go out the door, so if I have to get up, that's why. But yeah, this is the Zealana sock base, which is again, it has possum in it. If my camera stand is moving, it's because he's chewing on the leg. Love that. It has possum, merino and nylon in it, and also some silk, I believe. And it's just, this is going to be so... Excuse me, sir, please. Sir. It's going to be so warm on my foot, and I'm really keen to have these, and I've picked them back up. But that's all about that, because I have one really exciting new cast on to talk about that I did cast on last night, and I should probably be waiting a little bit longer before showing you, so I've got more to show you. But why would I be rational like that? Let me just grab it, because I've got something else up here. This directly ties in to one of my new acquisitions, which I will talk about directly after this as well. But I splurged recently. I was feeling like a little bit sad for no particular reason at all, and I am not immune to the pull of retail therapy. I'm not a perfect person, I'm not a fully perfect human being, and I have fallen into that trap very recently. I've been going so well on my yarn ban. I'd been like so committed to just working through my stash. And I've now got 13 balls of yarn sitting next to me. So I just wanted a little pick me up, and I did that because I figured I want to treat myself. So let's do it. So let's did it, and I bought 6 balls of La Bien-Aimée kauri worsted. Yeah, that's the most expensive yarn I've ever bought. It's okay, anyone who has worked with this yarn knows that is my swatch. Please do not stand on that. Yeah, no, please do not stand on the swatch. Yeah, okay, thank you. It is 52 Australian dollars a ball. Charlie. Okay, the camera's just gonna be shaking. I apologize. He is, vigorously biting the stand. Anyway, I bought 6 of them. I do get a discount at the store. It's a really good Sunspun in Canterbury. If any of you buy yarn in Melbourne, they do ship domestically throughout Australia. Sorry, no international orders. It is amazing. Highly recommend. They have a membership program as well, where if you pay like $30 for the membership, it's like $30 a year and you get 10% off every order. So I got 10% off this order, which was very helpful. Because it was really expensive, but it's so worth it. Oh my god, this is the most luxurious yarn I've ever bought. I see this everywhere online, and this La Bien-Aimée, I think her name's Amy as well. She just seems like such a beautiful human being, and she makes such beautiful yarn. I've never used Corriedale before. And I've got the label right in front of me. 50% Falkland Corriedale, 30% recycled fibres, and 20% La Bien-Aimée recycled threads. And it's colour Greybow number 4. Is that not stunning? Is this not so stunning? I'm in love with that. In love. And I've also got this skein caked up here. This is the most luxurious yarn I've ever treated myself to, and I did kind of treat myself to this as like a birthday gift to myself, because it was recently my birthday. Yeah, love it. So that's one of my acquisitions. Did jump the gun a bit, but it's pertinent to my other whip. I made a swatch last night. I was just a little bit off gauge, but I don't care. I'm still going to do the project anyway. And what I have done is cast on this. Yay! This was so easy to show on camera. This is, I need that actually. This is going to be the Joan sweater by Gregoria Fibers. I cast this on last night. I was too impatient to get to a better point before showing this on camera, because I would like to actually be at a better point, but this is what I've got so far. It is a saddle shoulder construction, if you cannot tell. This is the back actually. Okay, let's do it like this. So that's the back neck, and these are little shoulder pads. They're not shoulder pads, they're saddle shoulders, which is what I had just said before. Anyway, so I'm knitting the saddle shoulders. It's knit on 4mm needles by Gregoria Fibers, I think I mentioned that. And it's just a saddle shoulder. It's inspired by classic men's saddle shoulder construction, I do believe she said. It's just a gorgeous, simple staple piece. Someone is doing something in my house right now. I have knit this before as a gift knit to someone who is no longer in my life. Look, I'm not going to cause panic in the knitting community and say that the sweater curse is real. I don't believe it is real, but I think that we should be very, very careful and selective with who we decide to knit full, long-ass fucking stockinette sweaters for. Not everyone deserves it. Just putting that PSA out there. Anyways, whoops. I'll probably cut that out. I'm knitting one for myself because I really love that sweater. and I want one for myself. And I've got this amazing luxurious yarn here right now that I just treated myself to for my birthday, and I thought, you know what, I want one for myself, so I'm going to knit one for myself. And I'm just going to cast on spur of the moment, even though I've got other whips, because I want a basic sweater. I looked through all of my sweaters and I realised I did not have a single basic crew neck. I guess my sweater number 18 kind of counts, but I think because it's textured, that takes away from it being a little bit basic. It is really basic though, so it's probably not correct. But I think a turtleneck also takes away from something being basic, because that's a bit like less just chuck it on, in my opinion. I don't know, I would just like a basic crew neck sweater. And saddle shoulders are one of my favourite constructions, if not the favourite. So yeah, I really enjoyed knitting the Joan sweater last time. I thought it was just a really beautiful piece, and I really liked the twisted rib details. Is it twisted rib? I do think it's twisted rib. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I'm just really keen to have this. I feel like I'm going to smash this out. It is such a gorgeous yarn. It feels so soft. I can't even describe to you how beautiful this yarn feels. It's so light as well, which I'm really enjoying, and these flecks are just gorgeous. Tweed is just, I can't get enough of tweed. So I'm really keen for this. It's also, the yarn itself has got these beautiful variations in colour. There's like, it's grey, but it's pink, it's blue, it's green, and then it's got all of these different colour flecks in there. It's stunning. Stunning. So keen to have this in my wardrobe, to be able to wear it. And yeah, I'm really keen to knit this as well. I think it's going to knit up so fast because I'm so excited to use it and wear it. But I just cast this on last night, and I do think that I'm going to finish the saddle shoulders and get started on the rest of the body today, or the back neck, I guess. I've also started using project bags again, because I have so many project bags, and I got all of my whips out of it to make that video of all of the whips that are languishing, and I'd never put any of them back in project bags, but I've started using them again, and I'm so much better off for that. So yeah, those are all my whips. I've talked about one of my acquisitions. Let me tell you about my other few random acquisitions. I made another order from Sunspun. Just completely spur of the moment. Don't really have a reason for it, but I wanted to. So I did. And I got a lot of sock yarn. This is the Isaga sock yarn, made in Peru. I did not know that until now. Charlie. Okay, now he's please stop that. He's now turned his attention off of the stand and is attacking the rug on which the stand sits. So that could prove a little bit more bothersome if the rug gets pulled out from under you right now. So, sock yarn. 40% easy wash alpaca, 40% easy wash merino wool, 20% recycled nylon, 50 grams to 193 meters. Beautiful. And I got 4 different colors. They were on sale. Not sure why. I do actually, was Isaga getting rid of the 50 gram balls, or were they getting rid of the 100 gram balls? I don't know, but I got this navy. I got 2 balls of the navy, 2 balls of this lime colour. This is one of my favourite colours, obsessed with it. And I've really been more interested in navy. I've been more interested, yeah, like recently I've just thought that I would like some navy things in my wardrobe, because I can't think of anything that I have that's navy besides my dark denim jeans. So I got 1 ball of this colour. It's like a tan colour. I tried to knit something with it just to see the gauge, and then I tried to like pull from the centre and pulled out half of the ball, because it was not an easy centre pull, so I had to wind it all back up, which was annoying. And I got this dark foresty green. So the plan is I'm going to knit some socks with these, holding it with another ball of yarn in my stash that is I don't think it's a zauberball. I think it is the Queensland Collection Perth. I can see it right behind the camera right now in my stash. I'll put it up on the screen. But it's got these colours in it, so I'm going to do like alternating stripes, which is going to be pretty cute. Then I've got 2 balls of this, so I'm just going to need a pair of socks of this on its own, and this pair of socks on its own. But those are not for now. Those are for once I finish all of the half-finished pairs of socks in my pile of languishing whips. But so yeah, I saw that they were on sale on the site and I was like, add to cart. So Sunspun has been getting my business lately, and I'm not mad about it because I love the yarns I've acquired. I also got this randomly. I was at a local yarn store. We used to have a yarn store in town that was so amazing, and I learned about far too late into when I started knitting, and then it closed down. So now there's a new craft store there, so it's a lot more general crafty. It has mainly fabrics and sewing stuff. It does have some yarn, which is these 2 acquisitions here, but it's just random. It's mainly just 100% wool or acrylic. Less of the yarn that I am into. However, I've bought some yarn from there because, do you remember when I said that I'm going to knit my uncle a pair of gloves and my sister a pair of leg warmers? This is the Cleckerden Country 8 ply, 50 grams for 96 meters, 100% pure wool, but it's really soft and it's machine washable, which is interesting. Grown and spun in Australia. Yeah, so this is black. I also have a ball of the red, which I didn't grab for this for some reason, but I'm going to knit my sister a pair of the leg warmers aforementioned in the black because she likes black. It's a little bit thinner than the Drops Nepal, however I'm just going to increase the amount of stitches that I cast on, and it's just a really soft 100% wool yarn because I just don't want to knit a pair in acrylic, but I wanted something soft enough for her. She's a little bit more sensitive to wool, and especially around your ankles. I feel like ankles are a bit of a sensitive area. So yeah, do not jump up onto there, please. He's really menacing today. I think he's just about to have the zoomies. And then for my uncle, I am going to do the black and the red striped for the gloves that he requested. This is as well a bit of a thinner gauge than the gloves I originally knit, but as I mentioned, I would like to figure out the numbers for that. And red and black are the sports team that we all follow. If anyone follows AFL at the moment, you can please cry with me. The red and black, we're not doing too well so far, but I'm still enjoying it. We've got a lot of great new players. This is not a sports channel. What am I talking about? Next, I got this because in this craft store where I said they've got all of these just kind of machine yarns. That's a really bad description, but I think you can get my gist. They've got hand spun yarn from a local lady, Barbara Hand Spun Yarn, which is just gorgeous. It's got a picture of a spindle on there. I don't want to dox myself, so I'm just kind of covering that up. Hand spun by Barbara, 8 to 10 ply alpaca, mohair, wool and sparkle, 85 grams. Hello, this is gorgeous. This is like grey, but it's got this purple running through it and sparkle. Oh, there's some pink there. It's just gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just saw it hanging up there next to all of this like patterns acrylic, and I thought, hey, you're coming with me. I need to have this sitting in my stash. I'm probably just going to sit her right there on my shelf, probably this way because otherwise it won't stand up, and figure out what I'm going to do with this. I would really like to turn it into a pair of long gloves, so we'll see. It'll be interesting to work with, but yeah, keen for that. And yeah, that is all of the yarn stuff I had to talk about. Hopefully, I think I've talked for a very long time, so hopefully this wasn't too rambly. Yeah, I'm just going to talk a little bit about media stuff, but only very briefly because I don't really have too much to talk about. But thank you so much for joining me on my rambly podcast that I've not come up with a better name for so far. hopefully I'll see you again soon. And if you are going to be sticking around for my media portion, I am sorry to disappoint, I don't have much to talk about. I've started rewatching Criminal Minds. So yeah, started watching Criminal Minds again. For the how many time is not important, but I've started watching it again. I've also still been doing some reading. Still going on Secret History. Hello Charlie, he's back. Still going on the Secret History. I'm using a parking fine as the ticket, as the bookmark, to remind myself to pay that. I actually should check the due date on that. I've also started reading The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. What's his first name? Milan Kundera. Because I have acquired the book I got it in French. I think the cover is so beautiful. Because I think this is a very highly renowned book. I've got a great interest in reading a lot of works that are critically acclaimed to a high degree, because I want to understand why, and I wanted something else on the go with The Secret History because this is a brick to be carrying around with me all the time. And this is a lot smaller and it fits in my bag, so it's coming with me. I did just lose my bookmark, but I think I was up to like chapters 5. I've only just started and they're very small chapters. Oh, there's my bookmark. Why is it not in the page? That's my own issue. I've not read so much into this to be able to give my analysis so far, but I'm enjoying the writing style. That's what I can say. Other than that, I've been using my yarn winder, for which I received a new band. They sent it for me. I contacted the customer service and they sent me the new band for free. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. Actually, let me grab it. I guess this is technically an acquisition, but I have this yarn winder from Lykke in, not Beechwood, the other one. And it works again now because I lost my band when I moved house like 2 years ago. And that was super frustrating because I couldn't find a substitute that fit into the tracks and it didn't break because I was just substituting it with large elastic bands that would produce a comical effect because it would not be even, because it would wear out at different points in the band, and so it would just produce a cake of yarn that was like this would be. Oh, let me just whoops. It would just not spin evenly and then it would inevitably break. And so after a while of realizing that I would not be able to source the individual band on my own, and after going through about 7 elastic bands, I contacted the Lykke, I don't know if I'm saying that right, also I apologize, customer support, and she was so lovely. Alicia, thank you so much. And she sent it to me for free, this new band. And now I've got cakes of yarn, as evidenced by the cakes of yarn, the cake of my kauri confetti. And so I feel so happy. The only thing is that also this part, the clamp, broke. I don't know how that happened, but it snapped. So I'm just gonna source that from Bunnings, I think, a new clamp, because otherwise I have to like hold it and be doing this so I can't tension it. It's a whole thing. But now I can wind yarn again. And I'm watching Criminal Minds, and I've mentioned that about 17,000 times, and I think that's all I have to talk about. I broke my yarn bowl. This is not media, this is just me talking about my various woes with my knitting bits and bobs, but I broke my yarn bowl, so now I'm down to 1. I had 3, I've broken 2, 1 of them was fixed, like I glued it back together. I didn't glue it back together, I got my dad to do that for me. Lost 1 of them, 1 of them's now broken, so yeah. Down to 1. Wish me luck. Yeah, okay, I feel like this has been such a rambly, strange, disjointed, not podcast. So I apologise, but I hope that you've enjoyed it. I'll try to edit this. It is the winter solstice, so I do have put some plans today and I'm really excited for that. I hope that you yourself enjoy a lovely winter solstice or summer solstice, I guess. I feel like a majority of my viewers are in the Northern Hemisphere. My viewers, that sounds so strange. Thank you for coming with me. I feel super weird still talking to the camera. Enjoy your day and enjoy your knitting. However you are doing so. Oh my god, my voice. Okay, thank you very much.